Thank you for not insisting I remove my mask first.
No problem, Flash. No problem at all. I don't care what anyone says, you're still a hero. The captain seems to agree since it's his orders on identity confidentiality. No fingerprints either. Please turn to your right.
My God, we're standing here watching one of the world's greatest superheroes be booked like any common criminal.
If it weren't for the warrant, Flash. I mean, if there was any way that I could have persuaded the DA
No
to—
apology is necessary, Captain. You're only doing your job. The only reason this is happening is because of myself. Maybe I wasn't doing my own
Please,
job.
Flash. You must be very careful with what you say from this moment on.
But maybe I did go too far.
Flash, the warrant for your arrest states you have been charged with manslaughter in the death of Eobard Thawne, alias the Reverse Flash.
So until your court date, we're to keep you in a holding cell.
That's alright. I would just like to know where... How is the bride? Is she okay?
I wonder that myself. A close brush with death, and the groom still has yet to show up. She's holding back the press for you, believe it or not. They're directing questions onto her wedding's disruption, rather than your arrest and upcoming trial.
She shouldn't have to go through that for me. She's endured enough.
Let's get you to your cell, Flash. You've been through a lot too. The sooner this is over with, the better for her and you.
This thing is reverse Flash.
Please, one at a time.
Attention, everyone! I'm now ready to give a statement on the Flash's arrest. Just a moment of your time. Fiona, you're relieved. Head inside. I'll take it from here.
Thank you, Fred.
Cut the child. Get true. Sit down right here.
The Flash has fully cooperated with us in taking him in. The need for restraints is laughable, if not tolerable to a superpowered being such as himself. If he wanted to, he could run out of here, and there's nothing we would be able to do about it. As such, that goes to show he isn't using his hero title as a means to kill. Instead, I would like to treat the case as though he were one of my own men, forced to shoot a criminal in the line of duty. Sometimes, those calls must be made to save lives, and that's what the Flash did. It wasn't even to spare his own, but rather another's life. If the Flash hadn't stopped Eobard Thawne, it would have been Fiona Webb in the morgue rather than the Reverse Flash. As such, you can expect the CCPD support, including my own, in the Flash's favor for his upcoming court date. That is all to be said at this time. Further proceedings are then during the trial of the Flash.
Hey, Mr. Speed, how come you get to keep your mask on? He's something special. That's why. I wonder what lucky guy will get to be his cellmate. Are you kidding? He'd just kill you too. Did you hear? He's a cold-blooded killer now.
This may not be the Speed Force, but at least you know what it's like to be in prison.
Who knows? Maybe you'll start to like it here. Compared to everyone else, you're a god.
You're not real. You're not here.
Ghosts of the past, Flash? Well, I can assure you, I'm the most real of whatever is haunting you.
Zolomon? How are you?
There's no point keeping me in Iron Heights once Velocity 9 wore off. I'm kinda glad it worked out that way, though. Then I would have never had the pleasure of seeing you like this.
Solomon, the person that I killed, it was the one you told me about when I caught you. The real person who killed my mother. My real Reverse Flash.
Is that supposed to piss me off? That you were pushed to that point by him instead of me?
No. I just wanted to let you know that even after fighting you first, I wasn't prepared for Thawne. I put all the blame on you back then, not knowing the truth, and didn't kill you. I didn't kill Thawne for a selfish reason either. I don't think so.
You're saying it was an accident? Ah. And here I thought Professor Zoom had finally taught you what I couldn't. You're still not ready yet, Flash? Even after all of the tragedy you've gone through?
I don't know what you or he was trying to turn me into, but no. I won't allow myself to succumb to that. I won't let myself be like every other killer in here. I owe it to the only two that could have brought about that change in me. Since if they couldn't break me of all people, there's no way you or Thawne ever could.
We'll see if your jury thinks the same. Better hope the judge is in your favor, Flash.
That's enough! You won't have to hear any more of what these scumbags have to say, Flash. I took it upon myself to come and get you.
Huh? 4? I thought my trial wasn't until tomorrow.
It's not that. You have a visitor.
A visitor? Who?
Surprisingly, not even I know. However, it's someone Miss Webb. She insisted on a confidential meeting.
Really? Will Miss Webb be there too?
She'll be the one chaperoning you. I doubt you'd try to escape, and double doubt we'd be able to prevent it if you actually wanted to. But it's one of those formalities we have to keep. I'm already getting enough heat over not taking any prints and allowing you to keep your mask on.
Then I'll take what I can get. Thank you. You keep sticking your neck out for me, and I don't even deserve it.
Well, I've got a lot to make up for in our relationship. I wasn't always on the best of terms with you, was I?
I guess not.
To think, I saw you as a criminal before.
And now?
Now? Now I just hope everyone else will realize you aren't like I did.
Thanks, Captain. I'll see that visitor now.
Right. Follow me.
Fiona? Who's this?
Hey, Slugger.
Dad? What are you doing here? This is too risky. If you're seen, then
Fiona took certain measures, so that won't happen.
How is she? Can you put her on?
How are you holding up?
I should be the one asking you that. I'm so sorry to put you through this. If only
Stop that. It was your wedding day too. I know that you didn't stand me up on purpose. You were forced to miss it and forced to take a human life, all on the same day. I know it must be tearing you apart.
Even when he's dead, Thawne manages to absolutely destroy my life.
We're going to get through this. Now enough of that. We'll have plenty of time together later. Right now, you should talk to your father.
That's a strong gal you've got there, Barry.
She reminds me a lot of Iris. Of Mom.
Your mother would be proud of you if she were here right now. I know because I am. Just looking at the man you've become is enough.
Dad, I'm literally in jail right now.
Never stopped believing in me when I was.
That's because I always knew the truth, that you were innocent.
And you aren't?
I killed a man, Dad. May have been one as bad as Thawne, but that doesn't change the fact that he's dead.
I never thought that we would one day switch sides of the glass. All those times you visited me, I never thought...
We're almost out of time, so nobody questions or gets a good look at you. We should probably wrap this up.
Right, okay. I know you're feeling guilty, son. But try not to. You've always had good reasons for doing what you do. And this is just another one of those times.
Barry, your father and I talked about an idea we had, just in case the trial doesn't go in your favor.
I'm not breaking out and going on the run, Fiona. If it's determined that I need to be punished, then I'll take my punishment.
No, it's nothing like that. I was going to suggest maybe you should just unmask yourself and let everyone know who you are.
What?
Then they would understand. Then they would know why you did what you had to and why you couldn't make it to the wedding.
Fiona, you know that I can't do that. My identity aside, I don't think revealing myself would help. If anything, the jury would probably view it as a motive to kill. Thawne going after you being personal to me.
I don't know. It's just a thought.
It's going to be fine. You'll see.
I think what happened to you feel now that you had planned that in your killing your role.
Just ignore them. I'm Cecil Horton. I'll be defending you.
Thank you, Miss Horton.
Don't thank me yet.
All rise.
The Case of the People versus the Flash. Docket number 5677B. The Honorable Quentin Gallows presiding. All bodies are present and accounted for.
Let's begin, shall we?
If it pleases the court, Your Honor, I would like to begin my opening remarks with a formal announcement.
You may proceed, Mr. Slater.
The manslaughter charge in the case of the State versus the Flash has been decidedly dropped.
What? Miss Horton?
Don't break out the champagne just yet. It's not what you think.
The charge has been dropped and replaced with the new charge of second-degree murder. The prosecution will be proving Flash willfully chose to end the Reverse Flash's life.
This can't be happening.
I did my best to shoot down the motion in the judge's chambers, but to no avail, I'm sorry to say.
Order! I demand order in this court. The change in charges is hereby recognized and accepted. Please proceed.
Your Honor, the defense would like to start out by calling one of many witnesses to the stand, please, starting with Detective Ralph Dibney of the Central City Police Department.
Request granted. Mr. Dibney, to the stand, please.
Do you, Ralph Dibney, solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Then, Miss Horton, you may question your witness.
Would you please tell the court, briefly in your own words, what happened on that day in question?
Well, the ceremony never started because the groom, Barry Allen, never showed up. I had just seen him the day before for work.
Just relate the events that you witnessed, Mr. Dibney.
Right. We could all see Flash's only concern was for Fiona's well-being. It was after that initial moment that the same shock and realization we had was apparent on his own face.
There you have it. Flash had only intended to stop Reverse Flash, not snap his neck. The reason he put in so much strength was to save Miss Webb, not to deliver a fatal blow. It was not a premeditated murder, but rather a complete accident. Thank you, Mr. Dibney. The defense has no further questions. Your witness. I don't think any holes will be poked in Dibney's testimony. This is a good start, especially when we have over 40 other witnesses with the same story to share.
Your Honor, I beg the court's indulgence while I conduct a rather unorthodox demonstration.
Very well, Mr. Slater. If it's relevant to your cross-examination.
There's no cause for alarm, ladies and gentlemen. This revolver has been provided by the FBI and loaded with specifically prepared blank cartridges. Assisting me in this endeavor is Captain Schrei himself. As you can see, he is wearing a bulletproof vest, not for his protection, but for the court's illumination. Mr. Dibney, I'm gonna fire this cartridge into the open box that Captain Schrei is holding. The blank has been coated with a special color dye. Would you please watch closely as I pull the trigger and tell the court the color of the cartridges as they leave the barrel?
That's impossible.
Impossible? For anyone else's eyes, indeed it is. For me, though, the fastest man alive, the bullet is easily identifiable. Uh-oh. I'm beginning to understand the reasoning behind these theatrics. It adds up to nothing but bad news for me.
Say again, Mr. Dibney?
It's impossible for anybody to see the color of a bullet shot from a gun.
Precisely my point. I conducted a firearm questionnaire before simulating this experiment, and according to Captain Schrei, that cartridge would have traveled across the room at roughly 500 miles per hour. Correct, Captain Schrei?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry, Flash. I didn't know it was for this purpose.
Now, Mr. Dibney, considering the Reverse Flash and the defendant were engaged in a race of life or death, and considering the unimaginable velocities both speedsters are capable of, it stands to reason, does it not, that the Flash's pursuit and interception of the deceased occurred at a velocity in excess of 500 miles per hour?
Well, yes?
So, Mr. Dibney, in light of the fact you failed to identify the blue dye coating our test cartridge. The court can only conclude that neither you nor any other so-called eyewitnesses on the scene actually saw what transpired between the speeding defendant and the Reverse Flash. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it becomes clear the defense's eyewitness testimony is mere conjecture on the part of those who were present. Only 2 men know the truth about that split second, and one of them is dead. The other is his murderer, the Flash! No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Dibney, you may be seated.
This isn't good. After that demonstration, I doubt the judge or jury will take any of the witnesses' testimonies into consideration anymore, no matter how many there are.
What are we gonna do now, then?
We just lost our offense. All we can do now is take the literal meaning of our title and defend.
Considering Mrs. Horton took the lead, I would like the opportunity to question the next person to take the stand before she does.
Request granted. Who would you like to take the stand?
Miss Fiona Webb, the would-be bride of Barry Allen and intended target of the deceased, Reverse Flash.
Huh?
Would you describe, Miss Webb, to the best of your recollection, the defendant's exact behavior the moment after leaving Reverse Flash's lifeless body behind him?
As I recall, his overriding concern was for my safety.
In other words, you're saying the Flash showed no remorse whatsoever for the lifeless body slumped over just a few feet away?
No, you're twisting my words.
No further questions. Your witness, counselor.
Miss Webb, think back. Isn't it true that when Flash was consoling you, it was during the intervening moment before Reverse Flash was pronounced dead on the scene?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, now that I think about it, yes.
Therefore, it was not a lack of remorse on Flash's part, but a lack of information. At that moment, the Flash had not the slightest inkling Reverse Flash had sustained fatal injuries.
Objection! Defense counsel is leading the witness.
Overruled. Miss Horton, you may continue.
No need. Miss Webb has been through enough, and I don't intend on entertaining the absurdity of this line of questioning.
Then Miss Webb may leave the stand. It's up to Miss Horton, who will take her place at this time.
I call the only other person who can process things at super speed to the stand. The Flash's partner, Kid Flash.
Blink and you'll miss me.
Order, order! This is a court of law, not a place for you to show off your powers. Please refrain from doing so any further.
Oh, sorry, Your Honor.
However, let the brief display of power be a reminder to the judge and jury that he shares the same power set as the Flash, which makes him the perfect person to place themselves in the same scenario had it been them in a similar set of circumstances. That being said, Kid Flash, in your opinion as a person who possesses super speed, was it necessary for the Flash to kill Reverse Flash instead of apprehending him?
Just before the Flash had to fight Reverse Flash alone, Reverse Flash broke my leg and nearly killed me instead. In that situation, it was life or death. And not just for Fiona Webb, but also self-defense for the Flash. I would have done the exact same thing if it had been me.
Objection, Your Honor. This is all opinionated and subjective.
Then allow me to change the line of questioning with one final question, Your Honor.
Request granted. Miss Horton, proceed with your last question.
Kid Flash, would you say that your reflexes are far faster than that of an ordinary person?
Oh, without a doubt. Way faster reflexes. Yes.
I submit it as logical to assume the Flash can be caught off guard, like the rest of us then. Only that he recovers far faster.
Objection, Your Honor. Defense counsel is merely stating the obvious.
Perhaps, Mr. Slater, but I assure you that the obvious is most relevant in this instance. Here, catch.
Ah, what?
Observe! Caught by surprise, Mr. Slater only had his reflex actions to rely on, and he reacted by throwing both hands up in front of him. There was no time to consider which hand to choose, no time to choose whether to catch the binder palm up or palm down, only time enough to react with his first impulse. He had zero time to think about the consequences of his actions or what was right or wrong. I submit to the jury that Flash found himself in a similar situation when he saw Reverse Flash running towards Miss Webb. There was no time for Flash to think, only time to react. React at super speed to save Mrs. Webb's life any way that he could. That is all, Your Honor.
Most impressive, Miss Horton. Carry on to the next person to be called to the stand.
Huh? Him? What's he doing testifying?
Would you please share with the courtroom your opinion on the matter?
Is something wrong?
I request a pardon on their behalf.
Granted. Someone get him out of here.
Your Honor, I request to call one final witness to the stand.
Request granted. Who would you like to call to the stand?
The defendant himself, the Flash.
Me?
I know you're tired, Flash, so we'll cut to the bottom line. Did you try stopping Reverse Flash any other way before killing him?
Many ways, many times. This particular time, though, after he got me to pursue him alone, no, I didn't. I should have.
Really? How so? Time forced you into a judgment call, one life or another. It happens to police and firemen all the time. In your line of work, even you must know what it's like to make those hard choices.
No, I don't.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear...
I said, no, I don't! I never had to choose before.
What? So that's what this is really about. You mean to sit here and tell me that until now, after all these years of what you do, you never once had to put one life before another? Who are you, God?
No, I'm the Flash.
Then learn the difference.
But...
Think back. No hindsight. With Reverse Flash ahead of you, did you do all that you could do to catch up?
I can race lightning.
Irrelevant. So can he. Did you do all that you could do to stop him?
I'm the fastest man, fastest thing on Earth.
Did you do all that you could do or not?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Flash, you said you made attempts to defeat Reverse Flash previously. How so, if you don't mind me asking?
I've teamed up with Batman and other speedsters. Even when we did manage to detain him, it was a trick.
I see. So it's suffice to say you and Reverse Flash have been feuding for quite a long time. If I may, Flash, I would like to examine what was going through your mind with regard to your attitude towards the Reverse Flash.
I'm not sure that I follow what you're trying to say.
I'm saying, Flash, that there was more at stake for you than saving an innocent life that day. A motivation anything but altruistic. Flash, is it not true that on the day in question, you saw a golden opportunity and decided to seize it?
I don't understand the question.
You had the opportunity to at last rid yourself of a ruthless archenemy who had caused you tremendous grief over the years. An extremely deadly foe capable of super speed the equal of your own. In other words, while saving Miss Webb's life, you also made the split-second decision to willfully snuff out the Reverse Flash's life. And that, in case you weren't aware, is what the state calls second-degree murder.
Objection. Prosecution is badgering the defendant?
No, it's fine, Miss Horton. It's true that Reverse Flash has tormented me for what is practically my entire life. To the point that I hate him as much as he hates me.
Is that an admission of guilt, Flash?
Don't answer that.
Despite the history Reverse Flash and I share, I wasn't thinking of him at that time. I was only thinking of how that passes proof that he would have taken the opportunity to kill Miss Webb had I not done everything in my power to stop him right there and then. I was only concerned for Miss Webb's life when I used my full force.
Permission to remove the witness from the stand, Your Honor.
Declined.
I can't just sit here and watch this anymore. The Flash had a perfectly good reason to be so concerned about my well-being and to use extreme force.
Miss Webb.
No, I'm about to prove it.
Fiona, don't.
My fiancé hasn't been missing. He's been right here in this courtroom the entire time. The Flash is Barry Allen.
Captain, did you know about this?
I had my suspicions.
Fiona,
Order!
what have you done?
Order in this court.
My God, is this true?
Flash, I hate to do this to you, but I believe you must now prove without a doubt whether you are or aren't indeed Mr. Allen.
Barry, just do it.
Fine. What Fiona says is true. My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive.
Did you touch me? Do you hear the flash?
I still can't believe that you did that.
I couldn't just let them send you to jail and do nothing about it.
But now everyone knows who I am, Fiona. This changes things.
I know, but it got you cleared as innocent, and now nobody will think less of you as Barry Allen or the Flash.
I don't care about that. I care about you.
We've been over this. Thawne was the worst of them, and he's gone now. You can handle the other rogues. Plus, I'm a cop anyways, so it's not like I would have been out of harm's way anyways.
We can't help
but wonder what tomorrow will bring the Scarlet Speedster. Will he be out patrolling the streets per usual, or will he be taking the day
Iris?
off?
How?
The mayor of Central City has requested a
Fiona?
formal meeting with the heroes
Fiona?
to discuss the next course of action, seeing
Fiona?
how this may
Fiona,
affect
where
things
are you?
moving forward. The following is Mayor Thawne's exact statement.
Thawne?
It is a great pleasure to finally put a name and face to the honorable hero, Flash, who has served Central City all these years. I'm sure you're all just as thrilled as I am to finally recognize the man behind the mask. It is my hope that this revelation changes nothing. It is my hope that the Flash continues protecting Central City to have a long-lasting legacy that reaches the 25th century. It is my hope that I can continue to be a part of it. For that hope to be realized, he must keep running. I say to you, Flash, run, Barry. Run.